Hey, so let's talk about a problem that a lot of us face at some point. What do you do with an old car that's just sitting there? It can feel like a huge hassle, but there's actually a surprisingly easy way to turn that old vehicle into cold, hard cash. We're going to walk through how it all works, using a real-world example to guide us.
Yeah, does this scene look a little too familiar? You know the one. That car in the driveway or tucked away in the garage that you keep telling yourself you're gonna deal with eventually. It's a super common headache, but trust me, there's a simple fix. Okay, so let's really dive into the problem. That car probably went from being something you relied on to, well, a bit of a liability. Maybe it's an eyesore, maybe the registration ran out ages ago, or maybe it just plain doesn't run anymore. Either way, it's taking up valuable space and, let's be honest, mental energy.
And here's the thing, this problem doesn't care about the car's condition. We're talking about everything from old scrap cars and unregistered vehicles to cars that have been in an accident. Even if it's been damaged by a flood or a fire, there's still value there. The condition might change the price you get, sure, but it almost never makes the car worthless. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could turn that problem into profit? Well, there's a really straightforward model designed to do exactly that. So let's check out this solution and see how it all comes together. This solution is often called cash for cars, and it's pretty much as simple as it sounds. A service pays you for your car, and this is the really key part, they haul it away for free. Right there, it solves the two biggest headaches, trying to find a buyer and then figuring out how to get the car to them. Now, to make this really concrete, we're going to look at how a local auto wrecker, Fastway Cash for Cars in Williamstown North, does things. Their whole model is a perfect example of how this kind of service works in the real world. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds like it's going to involve a ton of complicated paperwork and a lot of waiting around. But really, the entire process is designed to be the exact opposite. It's all about making it fast and incredibly simple for you. The whole thing usually just boils down to these four simple steps. You kick things off with a quick phone call or by filling out a form online to get a quote. Based on that info, you'll get an offer, usually right away. If you like the sound of it, you just schedule a time for them to come get it, and you get paid in cash, right there on the spot. The goal is to get rid of all the waiting and uncertainty. And honestly, the best part might be what's not involved. These services typically handle all the annoying paperwork, so there's no stress for you, there's no waiting around for a check to clear, and there are no surprise fees that pop up at the last minute. It's just a clean, simple, done deal. All right, let's get into the why. Why is this such a great option? Let's break down how all these little things build into a really valuable service. Let's start with the most obvious benefit, right? The cash. Depending on your car's make, model, and condition, services like this can pay up to almost $1,000 for a vehicle you might have thought was worth nothing, or even worse, thought you'd have to pay to get rid of. But the value goes way beyond just the cash in your hand. First off, you get free car removal. Do you know how much a tow can cost? That's hundreds of dollars you're saving right there. Many of them offer same-day service, which means your problem is gone in a matter of hours, not days or weeks. And they give competitive offers, so you know you're getting a fair price. And of course, when you're choosing a service, it's always smart to see what other customers are saying. You know, reviews like this really highlight what matters most to people: a fair price, a reliable pickup, and just friendly, easy-to-deal with service. That's how you know you've found a good, trustworthy local business. So the story doesn't actually end when the tow truck drives off into the sunset. There's a final chapter to your car's life, and it's actually a pretty eco-friendly one. So what really happens to it next? This is a really important part of the process that a lot of people just don't think about. Auto wreckers are basically expert recyclers. Any parts that are still usable are salvaged and resold. Then, all the remaining metals and other materials are safely recycled. This means your old car actually re-enters the supply chain instead of just rusting away in a landfill. And this chart gives you a great visual of how little of a car actually goes to waste. When you add up the reusable parts and the recycled metals, almost the entire vehicle is repurposed. It's a fantastic real-world example of how the circular economy works, even for something as big and complex as a car. Okay, one last practical tip. If you're looking for a service like this, just double-check their coverage area. Most local auto wreckers serve a pretty specific group of suburbs, so you'll want to make sure they operate where you are. So, when you look at how simple, profitable, and even environmentally friendly this whole process is, you can really see why it's become such a popular way to finally deal with that old vehicle.
The big takeaway here is that getting rid of an old car doesn't have to be some massive, stressful project. With services that offer cash and free removal, you can turn that headache into a simple, profitable, and eco-friendly transaction. If you're ready to get started, you can reach out for a free quote. Thanks for tuning in.